All righty, we are awaiting Mr. Tua, and we'll see if he says that he is coming out. Would be nice. We will find out from Mr. Tua if he is going to declare for the draft. What do you think?
If I'm a betting man, I'm betting that he's leaving.
Right?
He's got a ring. He's got a national championship ring.
Yeah.
What does he have to go back for? Risk more injuries? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, to me, I'm with you. I don't know where it makes any sense for him to come back.
Back in the day, winning the Heisman Trophy was a big deal. Now, hell, guys win Heisman, go play basketball. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, those days are over.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I just, to me, it makes no sense for him to end up coming back. But again, did it make any sense for Peyton Manning to come back? Right?
No, but Peyton's a different animal because he comes from a family that has that tradition. They've got money, secure. You know,
right.
I don't know how, how much money Tua's family has.
Right.
You know?
I got you. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I was thinking about this. We could get the camera and aim it to the screen to show the press conference. Well, no, but we're not. No. We're just gonna give you the audio.
Not gonna be a copyright infringement.
Yeah,
there,
I don't know. We'll just give you the audio to it so you can find out like we do. We are looking at the press conference right now live. I'm seeing the Coke bottle, the Dasani bottle, the Mercedes sign under the microphone, and then the Alabama Crimson Tide logo, obviously. So they've got a couple of strong sponsors back there, and Alpha Insurance too is also in there, getting a nice little plug.
It's like Mike Myers, right? Wayne's World. You know how he turns the Pepsi and smiles and everything.
Gotta have some stuff, man. You gotta have the folks ready to go. 420 Frego says, yes, Greer drafted Minka and Tunsil, but traded them, and we're getting a 17th and 20th pick in return. Going to be really hard to replace that kind of talent. They got 3 picks for Tunsil, dude. They got 2 first-rounders and a second. Okay? And they got rid of $8 million in salary that they didn't need to keep. So I'm not sure what you're talking about. Yes, the Minka one, you fall behind. It's at 18th, right? I think it is, instead of 10. All right, that's his job. He's got to find another guy. That's what they hired Chris Greer to do. He found X in the second round. Okay? X is pretty good. Just saying. He found Preston Williams in street free agency, undrafted. Pretty good. They found Nick Needham to be a backup for you out of the scrap heap. Pretty good. So he can find talent. That's not, I mean, this is the problem with you guys. You spin everything like it's totally negative. And I don't understand that, because I get it when there was that stuff going on. If you watch the last 10 months since this man took over, everything pretty much is on a competent level, man. They're really good decisions. He didn't want to get rid of Minka. But what are you going to do? If he wants to act like an a-hole and he doesn't want to be the Swiss Army knife, because remember, he is the Swiss Army knife, but he didn't want to be the Swiss Army knife. What are you going to do? Eric Rowe, struggling at corner. They move him to safety. They figure it out. He gets a new contract. Bobby McCain, they know he's not a safety, but he sucked it up for the team and played safety. That's a team guy. Minka did not want to be a team guy. What are you going to do? You're going to keep him here against his will? That's not going to help you. That's not going to help your perception. That's not going to help for... You want to get out of here? Get the hell out of here, bro. Okay? Minka doesn't want to be here, then so be it. Get out of here, bro. I'm fine with that. And Tunso, they offered a stupid-ass trade. You take that trade every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Oh, and by the way, did you watch the game? What did they talk about with Laramie Tunsil? Do you remember? What was the highlight? Did you watch it?
14 illegal procedure calls over the course of the year.
Did you mention that there in your whole thing? All right, let's go to Nick Saban. Here we go.
I want everybody to know how proud we are to be up here with Tua today, and certainly thank you all for coming, showing interest in Tua and, our program here at Alabama. Tua has probably had as much of an impact on our program here as any player that we've ever had. And I'm not just talking about as a football player. He's got great character. He's a great leader. He's done a wonderful job in the classroom. There's a spirit about him that has impacted myself and everybody around him in a very, very positive way. He's had great accomplishments on the field, but you probably don't really fully understand the significance of the contributions that he's made off the field with his teammates and the people who are around him every day. An unbelievable positive spirit. He's helped us, continue the streak to 9 of 11 win seasons. He's won a national championship here with his performance. He's won an SEC championship. And he's also helped us to extend the streak of being in the top 10 to 12 seasons. And I don't think his contribution is not appreciated because it's been outstanding. He's on course to graduate. I think he needs like 17 credits or something like that to graduate. I don't think he's ever been in my office one time the whole time he's been here for anything but something that's positive in terms of helping him or, helping the rest of our program. I know this has been a very difficult decision for him and his family. Our role in that is not to make a decision, but only to provide all the information that we can, whether it's physical, medical, spiritual, in every way that we can, to help any of our players, make their decision. And I know some of the guys have announced on social media what they're going to do. There'll probably be a couple other announcements forthcoming, but I think it's fitting that a guy that has had such an impact, on our program, on college football, that we have a press conference here today. And with that, I'll turn it over to Tua, and he can announce his decision. Thank you.
Well, good morning. Thank you all for coming today. I've had a difficult time making this decision about my future, but first and foremost, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for this opportunity to stand before you all with my decision. My love for the University of Alabama, our coaches, our fans, and my teammates has made this especially hard for me. I have had the advice and counsel of my parents, my family, and coaches in going through a thorough analysis of the alternatives. And without further ado, with lots of prayers, thoughts, and guidance, I have decided that I will be declaring and entering the 2020 NFL Draft. My 3 years at the University of Alabama have been the epitome of a roller coaster. I've had a fair share of ups, of many ups and a handful of downs, and I couldn't be happier to know that with all the success and failures I've had here at the university, it has prepared me for life in general. I can't express how grateful I am to have attended the greatest school in college, but the biggest thing I remember with my time here are the memories that I've made with all my friends, family, and loved ones. I want to honor and thank Coach Saban for allowing me the chance to play for him. I'm forever grateful that I not only got to build a great relationship with someone like him, but I also got to play for him. I'd like to thank Coach Sark and our entire coaching staff for helping me enhance my skills this year. And I'd like to thank Jeff Allen and his athletic training staff for the first-class treatment they've given and shown me and my family. I'd like to thank Josh Maxson and his crew for helping me build my brand here. And to all those behind the scenes that don't get enough credit, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'd like to extend my appreciation also to John Deaver and our academic advisors for the help and support they've given me, and to our AD, Greg Byrne. Thank you for the many talks we've had and for the tremendous support you've given me. To my teammates, thank you for the lifetime worth of memories and lessons. Thank you for the laughs, the love, and all the hard work that came with helping me shape me to be who I am today. I'm going to miss you all, from the starting lineup to the scout team. To Bama Nation, I'd just like to thank you all for tremendous 3 years of support that you've given me and my family, and thank you for taking our family in as your own. To my parents, thank you for giving me everything. Thank you for everything, and thank you guys for instilling everything you had in me, and thank you for your continuous love, support, and especially prayers. I'd like to thank my family and everyone who's been involved in this process. Like I've heard my parents say many times, it takes a village to raise a child, so thank you all. As I wrap things up, there will still be a Tagovailoa here playing football, and it's my little brother Talia. And I plan to stay close to the university and always be a part of the Alabama family. So I'd like to leave you all with this from one of my favorite Tim McGraw songs. When you get where you're going, don't forget, turn back around and help the next one in line. Always stay humble and kind. Thank you all so much. God bless and Roll Tide.
Thanks, Stu. At this time, Coach is going to dismiss, and Stu's going to take some questions. Alex is going to run that for you.
Raise your hand like you do. First, with Cecil back there in the corner.
For those of you that are not watching,
Congratulations
he is standing throughout this whole thing, by the way.
What's the next step for you now in terms of rehab, in terms of meeting with teams? Have you thought that out yet?
Yeah, well, I'm just focusing on my rehab as far as now, with all the teams, and deciding if I'm going to do anything physically. We'll decide that with our athletic training staff, and then with what the doctors have to say about that.
So are you going to stay here to rehab at least for the foreseeable future?
Yeah. Yes.
Up front here with Chris.
Was there one thing that was the deciding factor in this decision?
No, it was just a hard decision all around. Just taking into consideration the pros and cons for both sides of the situation, and of the decision. And I got to see guidance from my family. We prayed a lot about it, and this is a decision that I'm gonna have to live with, and so I made it, and I'm good with it.
Over here in the middle with Al.
To it, you went to New York this weekend to kind of get an evaluation. What kind of feedback did you hear from doctors there, and what did that kind of tell you about the foreseeable future?
Well, I don't think any of the doctors can tell, the foreseeable future. None of the guys rehabbing me can tell that. From what they've seen, in New York, everything looks good, but you can't really tell until the 3-month mark or the 4-month mark, So that's the gauge on all of that.
We're on the left with John.
Another feedback question. What did you hear from NFL types, NFL teams, executives, scouts, whatever, about, because it's kind of a unique situation to be in?
Yeah, it's a unique situation for sure. With my hip, a lot of the guys, the general managers, the owners that I've got to talk to, kind of said the same thing. They kind of look at this injury as like a knee injury almost, although it's not. In a way that, okay, are we going to take a chance on this guy, or would he be able to, possibly do a pro day before the draft and whatnot? And really the biggest thing they want to do is just see that we can, move, and we can just be back to how we were playing prior to the injury.
We're on the side with Tony.
How much, if at all, did you get to talk to, the fellow juniors in your class, and what did you say to them?
Yeah, we all got to talk. A lot of their decisions were based off, whether they played good in this past game or not. But I mean, we all pretty much knew what everyone was going to do kind of prior to the game, but it wasn't set. And I mean, you know, they don't, a lot of guys in my class, we don't have to share any of that information, you know, but I mean, a lot of them have made their decisions pretty clear, you know, up to this point. So.
In the middle with Michael.
Now that you're leaving, what are your thoughts on the quarterback competition that'll be coming in the fall?
Yeah, it'll be good. You know, I'm looking forward to it. They got another guy coming in, Bryce Young. You know, he looked really good at his All-American game. I mean, if you love competition, you know, now's the best time for it. You know, for Mac Jones, for my little brother, and for that Bryce Young, the incoming freshman. So.
Tua, you talked about the decision and the announcement, but now this is where you motivate, you challenge yourself, you test your heart. How gratifying is it now to be on your shoulders to make or break the next step?
Well, you know, these kind of things don't really take the doctors. They don't really take myself. It pretty much boils down to one thing, and I think that's faith. You know, it boils down to that. And coming from a family that has a lot of it, you know, I'm definitely willing to take that challenge.
Back here with Chase.
Tua, was the supplemental draft in the summer part of your consideration process?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. I mean, if that was part of my process, I probably would have just said I was going to stay here at the University of Alabama. So it wasn't really a thought.
Middle here with Joe.
Tua, first off, congratulations on the incredible career.
Thank you.
Could you explain more how faith went into this decision that you decided to make?
Yeah, well, you know, we seek guidance from, you know, a good amount of pastors. You know, my dad is really good friends with Pastor Chris, Church of the Highlands. I got to seek counsel from, you know, our pastors back home, and then also Pastor Perry Stone. So, I mean, you know, they pretty much all had the same thing, you know, follow your heart. And then they also had, you know, stories to kind of align with what they were trying to share with me too. So.
You mentioned talking to NFL general managers. Do you have an estimate how many you spoke with?
Probably too many. There's just a good amount, you know. So.
Anyone else have any questions? In the middle here with Alex.
You mentioned about how difficult this decision was. Just how late in this process were you kind of going back and forth, and was there like a day, whether it was last Friday after the doctor visit or what, that you decided you made this decision final?
Yeah, it was a really hard decision. I mean, you know, going through my rehab and then, you know, with my parents, talking to my parents about it. I mean, it's been tough. You know, I have been going back and forth, you know, because, I mean, some things make sense, some others don't. I mean, I just had to factor in a lot of things, you know, as to why I should either stay or why I should leave. But, I mean, we set a date just so we could kind of get everything over with, and we're not, you know, continue to play the, okay, you know, but if I do stay, you know, this could happen, but if I do go, this could happen. So now that it's done, I mean, don't got to worry about it too much anymore.
Over here with John.
Do you, from everything you've heard and everything you believe, do you feel like you'll be a pretty high first round pick, and would you have gone if you didn't expect that?
Yeah, I don't think I can tell you that. I don't think any of the teams can tell you that. You know, it really depends on, you know, how the doctors report goes, you know, with my MRI, my x-rays at the 3-month mark. But then again, I think, you know, what factors into this decision too was, you know, our faith. And I mean, it's a leap of it.
And you follow up, you mentioned this was a roller coaster ride for a young guy from Hawaii to come in and kind of accomplish what you did at Alabama. How would you describe that and just the transition you had culturally, football-wise, everything becoming such a big name?
Yeah, well, culturally, it was different. Like I said, probably my freshman year and my sophomore year. Culturally, they just fry everything over here. So it's like it's different. Um, you know, I'd say it's been a roller coaster because I've got to see the spectrum of both sides, having a lot of success, winning a national championship, losing a national championship, going through adversity, coming back from it, continuing to go through it. So it's just been, a mixture of emotions. But I mean, for me, I think coming to a place like this has helped me, has helped set me up to be in the best position to become successful later in life too.
All right, two more. Chris Walsh and then Michael.
Just to follow up on that, how are you emotionally right now? I mean, are you happy, overwhelmed, scared?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel right now. I'm content with the decision that I've made. It's more so what's next. That's kind of what I'm thinking of, like what's next with this process.
All right, Matt over here.
Two quick questions for you. So first of all, how much did you meet with Coach Saban over the course of the last couple of days here?
Yeah, I met with him a lot, probably 5 times, within this past week. So it's been pretty good.
So based on the updated feedback that you've gotten, are you expecting right now to be ready for the start of football season, be able to play at that point? Are you optimistic about that?
About playing football?
Yeah, about being available to play at the beginning of football season.
Yeah, I'm optimistic that I'll be able to play, this upcoming season. But I think for me right now, I'm more so worried about, getting better as soon as possible, see what I can do, if I can do a pro day, if I can't do a pro day. And then, it's really all dependent on what the doctors, have to say to the teams and, what the results come back in as.
Last one here in the middle of Michael.
I know you said you went back and forth on your decision. Was there any point where you had made up your mind and you were going to come back and change that decision?
Well, seeking guidance from my family, my parents. We've had a lot of family talks, about this, and I think this is the best thing for me and my family to do. So that's why I made the decision.
All right.
All right, thank you guys.
There you go. That is Tua announcing that he is leaving, which is what he should do, and go into the NFL draft. So now the question is, let's go over a lot of the stuff that Tua talked about here on his press conference. There was a couple things that really stood out to me. First of all, the docs can't tell him anything about the future. So there's still, he didn't come out and put any kind of declaration that he's going to be fine. When he was even asked about playing available for the regular season, he says he was optimistic that he'll play football next year. He never really gave a date, right? So that leaves a lot of gray area. And then, he doesn't even know if he'll be a first rounder. The teams don't know if he'll be a first rounder. And that's, maybe he hasn't gotten any team to commit to say, yeah, no, we'll take in the first round, or maybe he has and he doesn't want to say anything along those lines. But the way he kind of spoke was that they didn't give him a feeling that for sure he's going to go in the first round. But trust me, he's got to have people that have already kind of inquired if he's still going to go in the first round. Now, here's the thing. If the doctors don't know until the 3rd or 4th month where he's at in the rehab, then how does a team know? And there was a tweet that came, or a text that came in on the YouTube chat board. And let's see, who was it that said it here? So many have come in now that, damn it, which one is it? I forgot which one of you put it, but it's so many there. I can't read them all at the same time. But one person said, I'd rather draft Tua and be wrong than not draft him and make the mistake and he goes on to have the success. Here's where, if you're the Dolphins and if you're a Dolphin, okay, two different things here. All right, let's first talk about the Dolphins. You have 14 picks, man. So if you got a second rounder last year, made it 2 second rounders, and took a shot at Josh Rosen. Hasn't worked out. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. But whatever, I have no problem with that. I don't have a problem with that thinking either. I got to tell you, while I'm not big at drafting 2 at 5, I told you guys this. If you're going to draft them at 5, then go draft another quarterback later on in the draft. Okay? I got no problem with that. Take the fishnet approach. I get it. You got all these picks. So I don't think any of us are going to get mad if you take shots at quarterbacks. When you haven't had one since Dan Marino, I think we're good at you taking multiple shots at quarterbacks. Do you know why? Eventually, you're going to hit on one. The problem with the Dolphins is they never take quarterbacks. They never try. They had Tannehill here for 7 years and never tried. Even during Marino and after Marino, you still haven't tried enough. So if you failed on Rosen last year, you fail on Tua this year, I don't care. Keep going, bro. I'm good with that. Keep going. Following year, you got to try drafting another one. And another one after that. And another one after that. I don't care. Keep trying. Get one. Find one. Unearth it somewhere. That's all. Hey, if you can find a Preston Williams that maybe does end up cracking your receiving core next year, becoming your number 2 guy, possibly a number 1 down the line, you didn't waste a draft pick. Boom. If Nick Needham does improve next year, become a 3rd, 4th corner, you did it without a draft pick. If Taco Charlton can play a little better next year, become a rotational defensive end, not a starter, a rotational guy, you did it without a draft pick. So find talent in other places, other ways. Quarterbacks, go draft them. I got no problem with that. But see, cover your ass. And while I'm not a big fan of drafting to a period in the first round, but if you are going to draft them, go get another one. No problem. Load up the roster with quarterbacks. I don't care if you have 3 young guys. Rosen and the 2 guys you draft this year. I'm good with that. They hang around Fitz. They learn from Fitz. They learn from Chan Gailey. One of them's got to come through. And who knows? What if 2 come through? What if Tua and Jordan Love is good? What if Tua and Rosen? What if Rosen and Joe and Love? I don't care. I don't care what combination. All of a sudden, you got trade bait. Keep taking quarterbacks. It's a beautiful thing. Now, you hear the risk. He's already a risk because he's injury prone. He's a fragile player. There's no other way to phrase it. The guy breaks down. Whether you want to call it freakish, whether you want to call it rare, whether you want to call it whatever adjective you want to describe, the way he gets injured, it happens. It's part of his DNA. So you've got to prepare for that. But he told you in this press conference, the doctors won't know for 3 to 4 months where the healing is at. Okay? He told you that teams basically, and he hasn't really heard whether he's going to be a first rounder or not. He's going on faith and all that good stuff. So there is a huge risk you're taking. You're already taking a risk with him. I don't care what the doctors tell you. I don't care if the doctor tells me his hip will be stronger than it was when he first had it. Doesn't matter to me because he's not durable. So he's a risk already as it is, and listen to all those other things. He doesn't even know if he's going to be able to do a pro day, which he's not going to do a pro day. Dude, if they don't know his hip where it's going to be 3 to 4 months from now, how's he going to do a pro day? He's definitely not going to do a pro day. He probably won't play till, if he can, till late in the season. And if your season's gone to crap already at that point, you might just wait till next year and say, let that thing completely heal up. So that way your first real hit is almost 18 months, 20 months from when you had your surgery. That might be the best approach for Tua. And that way you have Fitz and the other 2 young guys play that year. Next year, in other words. Might be the best way to go about it. Cover your ass. That's all I'm saying. If you're going to take Tua. Now, I'll tell you something that came out of this that is really good for Alabama. When Tua says, coming to a place like this has set me up to succeed. And I'm paraphrasing in this position that I'm in. That was a hell of a sell job for Alabama. Because everything that goes on, all the adversity, 5 meetings with Nick this week, his praise of being there in Alabama, it's a great sell job for the program, man. Awesome for them. It really is. I mean, we're watching all the problems that the University of Miami has. Holy crap. Even in adversity, Alabama's getting great pub. It's sick. Best player for them, best quarterback in the draft. Unfortunately, he's injured, but he's the guy telling you, let me tell you, if I'm going to have a career-threatening injury and all of that, this is the place to be. He's telling you the care he's had. Oh, remember when we were asking about, well, one guy put, well, the NFL, he'll get the best medical care, and I said, no. The medical care in the NFL is nothing better than Alabama. It's just as good. No difference. Resources, man. Alabama's got them, baby, in a big-time way. Let's see, what else do we have here? Okay. Tua will not make it in the NFL, Emilio says. But again, Emilio, it's like one of our listeners put out there. So you have so many picks. Does it hurt you if you throw one away? Because if you do hit on Tua, it's the hit of the lifetime. And if you miss, we're singing Drew Brees Part 2. Remember that. Okay? This is all, we are all shell-shocked from Drew Brees. If you only had the 7 picks of the draft and only 1 first-rounder and you passed up on Tua, I would say, man, you're smart. Whether he becomes the guy or not, you could not afford to take the chance. But where, even though I don't like him in the first round, can you argue with somebody that has 3 first-rounders and says, you know what, I'm taking a stab on the kid? How does that not make sense? How do you sit back? It's like that one guy that was picking on Charles Harris, but doesn't mention all the other good draft picks. Oh, no, I'm worried about Chris Greer because of Charles Harris. But I'm not worried about him because he picked Tunsil, and he picked Minka, and he picked X, and he picked Wilkins, and he picked Jerome Baker, and we could just keep going. No, but I'm worried about Charles Harris. Come on, man. Come on. So that's where you cannot say taking a gamble on Tua, if you're the Dolphins, makes no sense. I can't even say that. You have so many picks. What the hell, dude? If you hit on it, oh, my Lord. And like I told you, cover your ass, draft another guy. Now you got Rosen, let's say Jordan Love, and Tua. If you miss on all 3, then I can't help you, man. I'm sorry.
I'm going to say, when you said Tua take a hit. Thinking of that hit, man, it just doesn't sound good. You know, it just doesn't.
No, of course not.
It just, I don't care if it's 18, 20, it just doesn't sound good.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't. But if you're the Dolphins and all those picks, I get it. I really understand it. By the way, the show is proudly brought to you by Choice Mortgage Bank. Support the folks that support us. You need a mortgage, call Michael Codsey. Look, he gives you his personal cell number. He's got a AAA plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Call him right now, 561-441-2730. We can still get you into state rates under 3.5%. Call Michael Codsey right now, 561-441-2730. All righty. Welcome back. If you want to get in on the program, you can chime in there on the YouTube chat board, of course. If you're watching, as always, spread the word. Also, give us a thumbs up on the broadcast. We appreciate it. And tell folks to subscribe to Big O Radio Show on YouTube. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers ASAP so we can get you better live coverage too, especially with all the draft stuff coming up, because we're hitting the road next week. We'll be, dude, it's already like today we're going to, like right now we'll be at practice. Well, no, actually we'll be in between the two practices, I think. Maybe, I don't know. It's going to be really weird, by the way, the show next week. Like, it's going to be odd when we're doing the shows and stuff like that. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to have a lot of interviews. We're going to do a lot of things, audio, video, all kinds of stuff that we're going to have for you. So make sure you follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Big O Radio Show. We're going to get you the best draft coverage that is out there. Ivan says, can't wait for Miami to get fleeced into trading up for Tua and giving up assets and ends up being a bust in Dysfunctionville. Well, I didn't see any dysfunction, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. Didn't seem like a lot of dysfunction this year. Not sure what, but I get it. You're probably not a Dolphins fan, so you're making a stupid joke that really doesn't fly. But I mean, listen, bro, Ivan, if it gets you all excited and you can play with yourself right now, go ahead, bro. Play with yourself. Get all excited. I read your little shot at the Dolphins. Are you happy, Ivan? Huh, Ivan? Are you happy? Huh, Ivan? Are you? Oh, Big O, he read my thing. Yay.
He just lost the nut.
Yes. Yes. Eduardo Gonzalez says, bye, Tom Brady. Go Dolphins. Arriba los Delfines del Miami. Can't wait. Let's see. Big O, the glass is half full with Harris. Aren't mistakes the agents of evolution? NFL fans could learn from baseball fans. A sport where getting it right 1/3 of the time puts you in the Hall of Fame. That's right, Dougie Fresh. Big O, I hear where you're coming from, but acting like the Dolphins have a lot of expendable picks isn't right. Dolphins need good players that have more than a 50-50 shot of probability. Dude, we're talking about quarterbacks. That's not 50-50. Quarterbacks are 20-80. Oh, I just want a quarterback. I don't mind if you... I love the fact that they took a shot at Rosen last year. Okay, if it failed, who cares? He got 1 second-rounder, made it 2 second-rounders. So he got Rosen for free. And you could use him as a backup because it's cheap. It's smart in every way possible. If it doesn't work out, big deal. You move on. You still have your second-rounder. You didn't lose it. So, and this year, take 2 quarterbacks. I don't care. Find a damn quarterback. I'm good with it. So you use 2 on quarterbacks. You have 12 other picks, man. Come on. That's a lot. And the way this team, the way they work free agency, they might find another gem or 2 in undrafted free agents. Just find me a guy. I don't care. Tua is a generational player. Yeah, he's injury prone. Let's give him 2 years to sit and get stronger. We got to take this chance with so much draft capital, and I'm a Rosen guy. Exactly. That's what Dudada says. Dudada, or how about Dean Dada? No, Dean Dada. You should have gone Dean Dada, not Dudota. Let's see. Bill says, just heard from the other rumor mill that one of the few places that Giselle will allow Brady to go is Miami. Yeah, but that won't happen here. They're not going in that direction. They're going young. Bill K says, would you take him for a year or two? I get that. The problem is, Bill, bro, let's get realistic. Tom Brady has a year or two. Why is he going to come to a team that's rebuilding? This is what I would tell you, Bill, okay? Stop smoking the weed with the seeds. Try get better weed, no seeds, okay? That way you won't drive around with holes on your shirt and you won't be that high. Just put it down. It's not even 420 yet, Bill, and you're smoking, okay? They have no offensive line here. They don't have a running game. They would have to fix everything to bring Brady here. Brady's going to go to the Dallas Cowboys, which I doubt with the way they're structured now with Mike McCarthy. He's going to go to the Chicago Bears. He's going to go to, trying to think of a ready-made situation that needs a quarterback. I doubt Jacksonville, but Jacksonville's kind of close. Carolina's kind of close. You know what I'm saying? The Dolphins are nowhere near close. I don't care that they have Patriot coaches and all that. Tom Brady's not coming here, bro. It just makes no sense whatsoever. If he goes somewhere, it's a place that, I'm telling you, the Bears would be freaking awesome for Brady. It really would. The Bears need well, I see where Kyle Long, did you see that Kyle Long is going to retire? Well, not retire. He says he's 31. He's basically retiring. But he's ended 4 straight seasons on the IR. Let me tell you something. You've never met him, but if you would have been with me at the Senior Bowl that year, you would have fallen in love with the guy. You wouldn't have known your Bears would have drafted him, Bill, but you would have fallen in love with the guy. One of my favorite interviews of all time, Kyle Long, at the Senior Bowl. Just a trip. Cool dude, great attitude, great character. It was fun. We had a really cool interview. I believe Brandon Rodriguez was my producer in those days, because this was a long time ago already. Man, whenever he got drafted, however long ago it was, must have been at least 8 or 9 years ago. So anyway, that to me, that's where this situation for Brady, he ends up somewhere where it's close to ready-made. And Miami's not close to ready-made. So he's not going to come here where they have no line. And they've got to figure that out and all that. And he's not doing that, dude. He's not going to rebuild. If he goes somewhere, the Indianapolis Colts, they're not like ready-made for Super Bowl, but they're pretty close. They got a hell of an offensive line. They got a decent running game. They got a T.Y. Hilton. Their defense has gotten better. There you go. That's one that's kind of close. It's got to be that kind of situation. Miami is not the one. Trust me. Put the joint down. Not going to happen. And you know what? Can I be twisted? I don't want him here anyway. No, man. I want to see the Dolphins do it on their own, with their own quarterback, getting everything done. That's what I want in a big-time way. Okay? I'm super excited about what's going on. I've been excited for months now, since the offseason. Anybody that's followed this, I'm the only guy in the country that wanted Chris Greer in place. I got what I wanted. Now, I love that he brought Reggie McKenzie and Marvin Allen on. I'm saying stuff that nobody else is saying. Miami's going to have one of the better front offices in the NFL. I'm saying it. I'm on record for it. I'm on record for Chris Greer as it is. I'm on record for these guys. I like what Brian Flores is doing. I love what he did as a coach this year. Excuse me.
Bless
All right?
him.
I love what he did as a coach this year. I love what they did in the offseason, clearing out all this cap space. piling up all these picks. I'm sorry, man. Go listen to somebody else. Go read other writers out there that are just twisting everything. I think it's all positive that what's going on with the Dolphins. I have killed the Dolphins for 20 years for stupid-ass things. I love what they're doing here on a consistent basis. And you guys are going to love it down the line. And all the haters and all the people that were dissing the Dolphins are going to change their tunes. You'll see. You'll see. They're going to go, whoa, you know what the Dolphins did was really smart. And we were laughing at them, and we were saying they were tanking, and they were never tanking. They were building through youth. That's not tanking. That's building through youth. That's all. I watched the Marlins do it. Didn't you watch the Marlins do it? Build through youth. Didn't they tear down a 97 championship club that was veteran-laden with sprinkled in with a couple of young guys? Not like 03 that was loaded with young guys. Sprinkled. They got rid of everybody, and we saw a whole bunch of young guys, and they rebuilt that team through youth. Derek Lee and Mike Lowe and Castillo and all those young guys got to learn all by them lonesome. I was rebuilding through youth. That's what the Dolphins are doing. But, you know, you want to be ignorant and call it tanking? Go ahead. Go ahead. They built through youth, coached it up, and won 5 games, more than other teams. That's not tanking. That's actually super competent. You realize that, right? You realize that what the Dolphins did was more competent than what other teams are doing, that they're trying to win, and they ended up with 3, 4, 5, and 6 wins and 7 wins. Miami got rid of all their bad salaries. They loaded up on draft picks and won 5 games by streaming. You know, in fantasy football, you can stream talent week to week, right? You can, hey, this running back's he's in free agency. He's got a good matchup. I'm going to sign him for my. That's what the Dolphins did in reality. They streamed off of everybody's practice squads and won 5 games. Do you realize that? I mean, are you thinking about that? Do you know how awesome that is? Can you imagine if you start drafting a whole bunch of other players that are really good and these guys can coach? It's like Spoelstra and company grabbing some guy off the street named Duncan Robinson and making him one of the best shooters in the NBA. Kind of like picking up Nick Needham off the freaking street and saying, we'll make you a player. It's kind of like saying, hey, Preston Williams, you went undrafted. We know you got skills. Come on over, young man. We'll make you a player. Eric Rowe, you can't play corner. You've been playing corner your entire life and you suck. But we figured out you can actually cover tight ends. This is your role from now on. That's coaching, man. So if you don't want to be positive about the Dolphins, screw you, bro. That's all. Get lost, get out of my face. Because what's going on is super positive. I just see it every freaking day. There's all kinds of examples all over the place. But, again, you want to spin crap? Go ahead and spin it. I just sit here and call it like I see it. And if I can go overboard, and from the second they sign Joe Philbin and tell you he sucks and he'll never be a good coach, then I can go overboard and do this too on the positive end, right? I think I'm entitled to do that. I know I'm not in your eyes out there for some of you because I get killed when I'm telling you Joe Philbin's going to suck ahead of time. And then I get killed for telling you that Chris Greer should be in place. And then I get killed because I'm excited about the coaching staff and the job that they've done. I get killed either way from fans if I'm too positive or if I'm negative about a move that they make. I get it. I'm never going to win. Understandable. But right now, I'm telling you, Dolphin fans, you should be so freaking jacked about this. This is my favorite offseason that I'm going into in 20 years that I've been doing this. You know why? Because I knew that they would screw it up most of the time. The only let me not lie. There is one time I had hope. For one moment in time, I did have a little bit of hope. The first year with Parcells. Because I bought into the Parcells thing, and I thought he was, and then the draft with Jake Long, I was jacked. I will say that. I wasn't jacked about the season, the Wildcat stuff, because I called it a gimmick from then, and I said, you can't live off of this crap. Eventually, it's going to run out. You're going to need it. But I thought that Jake Long draft from there on out, but then after everything else, kind of killed it. Jeff Ireland and Sperano and the redhead and everything going on, and it just made me sick to my stomach. But what are you going to do? Now, this is the other time that I feel good about the Dolphins in 20 years. I'm going to ride it out, man. You know, I'm here no matter what. Whether as bad as it could get, I'm still going to be here. Still going to root for the team. Still going to watch it and all that. But I'll call it like I see it. And I just love what's going on with the Dolphins. And I think every other Dolphin should too. Out there. I really do. Let me see what you guys and ladies have for me here on the YouTube chat board. Carlos Madrigal says, Dan Marino will give him permission to wear 13 because he will bring us a Super Bowl. Talking about Tua. That's it. You know, I didn't think about that. The good thing is the Finns don't need to draft a receiver. The best thing that happened this season. Oh, you're right. It's another positive. You know, you get Preston back along with the way Parker has developed, right? I love Allen Hurns as a third possession type guy. You got Jakeem Grant will play that fourth receiver role where you had him earlier this season playing much higher, which was not good for him because he's a little guy, just a complimentary guy. Have him in the return game and have him in 7 to 10 plays in the game. Not much. Have him touch the ball on offense 3-4 times, big moments, and that's it, and get him the hell out. Do not play with that kid a lot on offense. And then Isaiah Ford. I don't think Albert Wilson comes back. But then you could draft another guy, if you want, to compete with Isaiah Ford for that fifth spot. And I'm sure the guy that you draft will be also a special team type guy, too. It'll be a guy that's an awesome flyer or an awesome returner, something like that. Let's see. What else do we have? I'm telling you, if the Finns fix the O-line and D-line pass rusher, run stoppers, this team will make the playoffs with the journeyman QB. It's been done before to the Super Bowl without a great one. O-line, D-line, pass rusher. 72 Finns logo. You're not going to get an argument out of me on that one. They would get to the playoffs with Jay Fiedler, bro. Jay Fiedler wasn't a star. Yeah, no, you fix the lines. You fix the lines, you'll make the playoffs with Fitzpatrick. You won't get far, but you'll make the playoffs. Yeah, no, I'm with you. But we all know you want to build the lines, we need to get a quarterback. Because, hey, I'm 53, okay? I need to see a Super Bowl win by the Dolphins. Before I check out of this earth, all right? I need to have a Super Bowl win. Okay? So, 72 Finns logo, I'm with you. We got to fix the lines. But get me that quarterback, baby. Get me that quarterback. I want to win a championship, man. Okay? All right? I want to win a championship. I want to celebrate. Like, in April, we're all going to be together, a lot of us Dolphins in Vegas, right? We're going to have some fun, commiserating, having some fun. It's going to be a great weekend for the Dolphin Nation, all of that. It will pale in comparison if the Dolphins, the next time we get together, it's a Super Bowl and they're trying to win it. Okay? That's when, that's when everything just is beautiful. It's perfect. Let's see. What else do we have here? Drewbo says, laughing my ass out loud, wacky tobacco. All right. Oh, you got to do that. Big O, is Florida State football better today with Norville? Dude, I have no idea. I have no idea where Florida State football is. I thought the Taggart hire was a good hire for them, and it didn't work out. What do you want me to tell you, man? Taggart hire looked like it was a good hire, and it was an absolute disaster. I like the Manny Diaz hire, and so far, first year, disaster. I might not be a good judge of character for your college coach. I'm not on a good roll right now, I got to tell you. I wish you guys the best because I don't have any hatred towards Florida State. So I wish you the best except when you play the U. I just don't know where the hell my U is. You know what I mean? And, this guy that comes in now, Lashley, okay, he's got good credentials. We'll see. Dan Enos had great credentials, too, at Alabama. How'd that work out? That's where I can't tell you that it's going to be a sure thing. On the other side, Jason Turner, he covers Mr. Jordan Love for Utah State and the Herald Journal. He is the beat writer. So you guys want to find out? We're going to turn our attention to a little NFL draft, and we'll talk a little NFL draft with Jason Turner next. We'll get his thoughts on Jordan Love, a quarterback that the Miami Dolphins may be drafting in April for the 2020 draft. So stay tuned. Let me tell you about EJD Construction. Eric and John, nobody is going to outwork those guys. Listen, we're not talking about a handyman. We're talking about custom home construction, major home remodeling. Please call EJD Construction and tell them that Big O sent you. 305-318-4978. That's the cell phone number for the owner, Eric, and he's also the head guy. He's the guy that's going to be leading every project that's in your home. And the communication with you and your architect is second to none. All right? That's why you want to call them. 305-318-4978. You want to improve that man cave. You want to improve the kitchen, the backyard, front yard, whatever it is, whatever crafty thing you want the TV to come out of the roof or the wall, you call EJD Construction. 305-318-4978.